questions as well. Okay. So, how did this all come about? Well, how it came about is I do love technology, and I'm always trying to find different ways to make us more resourceful, efficient, help us out. And so, what happened was I started to be able to, Luis, we have someone again. I can hear it. That's why. Can you just mute again?
Yes.
Thanks. So when I started looking at AI, I was actually doing it professionally. And just started realizing, how can I do this as part of my career? But then how can I translate this over to Rotary? Because we know in Rotary, there's so much kind of operational administrative work that's to be done. And there's a space for it. But then I found, wow, there's way more than just this. Like, sky's the limit. And so that's what I want to share with you tonight. So let me go ahead and bring that up for all of you. Hold on just a moment. All right. Okay, so you should be able to see the presentation now. So, benefits of using AI for Rotary leaders. Like I said, we're going to identify ways to incorporate technology into your leadership style. Now, here's the thing. I'm not asking you at the end of the call for everybody to be an AI guru, but what I am asking is that you're open-minded to what it can bring. And if you like it, and maybe it's not you, find someone within your club or your leadership team who can start adopting this and to use it more when you're working with your teams. And then also, we're just going to locate ways where we can give back in terms of our volunteers. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in a second. My role in Rotary, I'm a volunteer like all of you. I'm from the Rotary Club of Sun City. I've been working with the AGs for the past 2.5 years, the assistant governors, and I'm going to be stepping in this year as your regional Rotary Foundation coordinator, which I'm really excited about. I'll be working with the global grants, and we'll be incorporating AI into that as well. And we'll touch on that in a different session. I'm from Arizona, so it's hot. I hope you guys are having great weather wherever you are. It's starting to get warm out here. So let's think about technology. We've all been using technology for a long time. How many of you, if I were to ask, remember going to Blockbuster? Show of hands, just casually in the computer. You guys remember the feeling when you'd go to Blockbuster and all of a sudden, you'd realize they didn't have the movie you were looking for. You had to pivot, course correct, right? We all remember that feeling. It was fun at the same time when we found it. But we started there with VHS tapes. Then as we moved on, or before this, how many of you guys remember this one? Yeah, 8-tracks. I see the smiles. You're like, wait, I never thought I'd see that again, but there it is. And now we have a combination. And what is that? It's Netflix. We're streaming. We use that for our video technology, our movies, and Spotify. Now we can have all of our music at the touch and palm of our hand, in our phones, Bluetooth, however we want it. So we've been using technology for a long time. Who remembers this guy? Film. Do you remember? You'd actually have to go take the film in and pray 3 weeks later that the photos were going to be decent. Have no clue what was on it. And then as we kept going, we have our 80s mixtape. That was the purest form of love, when we could record and put our favorite songs and give that to someone. We can transfer cash now through the phone, CDs. And look, everything ended up on this thing called the smartphone. Everything. When you think about GPS, you think about music, you think about movies, you think about transferring money, emails, communication. Everything is on our smartphone. So you think about from the 1970s to where we are now in 25, that's 55 years. We have gone through an amazing time of technology. And I haven't even brought up the fact of the internet, right? That was a game changer when all of a sudden we could get information without having to go to an encyclopedia. And you guys may not be able to tell through Zoom, though I think you probably can. I remember the days of the Dewey Decimal Systems and, the biblioteca and the cards and, doing everything old school, the card catalog at the library. So we've all been through this period together of this technology change. Yet, for whatever reason with AI, this has been really scary for many, many people of the unknown of what's to come. And I think we all can agree that with technology, there's good and there's bad. And we do have to learn how to manage it, how to use it in the correct way, but also how to protect ourselves against things that aren't good. So, what I want us to focus on tonight is I want us to lean into the positive side. We'll talk about some best practices with AI, but I want us to really focus on the good that can come out of it and think about your old technology and the good that kind of came out of that. So, how many of us are using AI now? If I ask that question without showing the slide, many people kind of look and they say, no, I'm not using it. But when I show this slide, they go, wait, I am using it. I use Hey Siri or Alexa. Siri just came on my phone. I always have to turn that off. Alexa, Hey Google, Zoom. This is technology that has AI incorporated. We'll talk about that as we talk about some techniques. There's Canva for marketing. There's Chat GPT, which we're going to talk about. Otter AI for notes. So when we think about AI and we think about technology, there's so many resources available. It's overwhelming and daunting because it's not just one thing. So tonight we're going to focus on Chat GPT. However, I want to be very clear. I am not endorsing that. There is Gemini, Notebook LM, there's new Copilot, Microsoft. There's numerous places you guys can use and find the one that's best for you. I don't know if you guys remember the days of MySpace. Anyone? Yeah, I see smiles. MySpace account. And we all thought that was here to stay. And guess what? Within a year, we had Facebook. Then we had Instagram. Then we had Snapchat, TikTok, Be Real. What I think we're going to see is the technology of today is going to change drastically as we keep going. And so the most important thing for all of us is to remain flexible and be able to adapt as the technology changes. So what are some housekeeping rules with AI? The first housekeeping rule is we don't use anything and put in private information. So if any of you work for, banks or mortgage companies or legal, what does that mean? We don't put in names. We don't put in date of birth. We don't put in social security numbers. We don't put in account numbers. We don't put in personal identifiable information, because the reality is you are putting this into the cloud. It is going out there. Someone is storing that data. A company is storing that data. So you want to be sure that when you're using AI, you're using it for brainstorming. You're using it for creative thinking. You're using it for helping with efficiency. The other thing for AI is we don't use it for facts. Now, that has been where you hear a lot about the misuse, is many people kind of thought of it as, I'm going to go use it for my research paper. And what you have to know about it is it's called a large language model. What that means is when you put in a prompt, it goes out to the internet and the databases everywhere, and it finds what's going to match and be the best answer to what you put in. It doesn't discern if it's right or wrong. It's just giving you the response back. So you have to realize it actually, and it's called ghost articles. It has actually given attorneys fake cases that then they've gone to use in their court hearings and lost the case because it wasn't real. So understand that when you're thinking about utilizing AI, it's just a resource. It's just technology to use. Critical thinking and common sense, the human element, still remains. You still have to have that as part of what you're doing. So let's talk for a second about Rotary. How many of you in Rotary, and it's okay if you don't want to raise your hand, but I like it when you do. Sorry about the hound dog. He's here to stay. How many of you in Rotary have either personally experienced burnout or of a club member who has experienced burnout? Yep, lots of hands. We see it often with club presidents. right? Serving 52 weeks of running a club. It's a lot. It kind of takes a lot of energy out. We've seen it when we have someone who's really excellent at running a committee, and all of a sudden they're running 7 committees. And so what we're looking at with Rotary is we're all volunteers. We're all here to help because we love the mission, we love the cause, we love being together, we love making the world a better place. But we still have to find ways to make it easier to be a Rotarian. I would argue on this slide that there's something really important for us to touch on. So we can give in 3 ways. The first way is of our money, right? We can give to the Rotary Foundation, we can give to projects, we pay in dues. But in theory, now I understand this theory, money is something that we can make more of. Whether we invest, we side hustle, we have a second job, we inherit, whatever. Money is something that ebbs and flows, comes and goes. It can be added to, it can be deleted. The same thing when you think about for your skills. So for example, you guys can't tell here, but I am the life of a party. I love spreadsheets. Love spreadsheets, big nerd. So for me, my skill set in Rotary is bringing a lot of logical thinking, a lot of strategic planning. That's my skill set. I'm probably not going to be on the decor committee, but that's something that I could learn, right? I could be better. I could change and modify and grow. So that's something we can have more of. But when we think about our time, I think we all can agree that time is something that we don't know how much of it we have, though we might pretend we do. And it's not something we can create more of, right? It's finite. We have a specific amount of time, and we don't know how much of our time is in the bank. So it's really hard when you're joining a service organization or you're part of an organization like Rotary, is what happens when you're on a committee meeting that could have been an email. How do you guys feel? You can make a face. Yeah, I see it, right? How do you feel when you've gone to a club meeting and there was no program? No fellowship, no program, just kind of eh. How do you feel when you go to a board meeting and there's no agenda? No purpose, no structure. Because the thing that we hate is we hate having our time wasted. And why do we hate having our time wasted? Because many of you on the call are working still. If you're not working, you're retired. You have families. Maybe you have grandkids. Maybe you have hobbies. We're divided in lots of different ways. And so we want to make sure that the value we're giving in Rotary is making an impact. So I'm going to show you a way we can get our time back and make it more efficient, and that's utilizing AI. So as we continue on down our journey, what can AI help us to do? So some of the basics, and I think you guys have probably heard of these already, is creating documents, communication. So what could that be? That can be an agenda for the club meeting. That could be minutes. It could actually be bylaw reviews. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Marketing ideas. You have a new club fundraising idea coming up or a new club project, and you want to be able to engage your local community. How can we put that out there? When I said governance, you can actually take the Rotary sample bylaws. You can pull your club bylaws, put them in together and say, show me the differences and where needs improvement. Here are the changes I want to make. And within 60 seconds, your bylaws are updated. I don't know about your club, but in my club, that can take like 6 to 8 weeks. So, I mean, just right there, right? That's saving a ton. You can do event planning ideas. So let's say that you're trying to come up with something new and you have no idea what to do. You can say, I'm in the Rotary Club of, and I see San Diego with Celia right in front of me. I'm in the Rotary Club in San Diego. Here's our general area. We would love to do something that helps youth in this month. Please give us 5 fundraising ideas and marketing ideas and membership strategies, and it will have it for you with ideas in 30 seconds. So again, talking about brainstorming, talking about how it works, lots of great ideas. So I'm going to go back to the comment I made in the beginning. And the comment I made in the beginning is, you might be the person in the middle But as Rotarians, we are not expected to be all things to all people. We are not expected to know everything. So what the person in the middle is saying is delegate. Find someone in your circle. If this is not for you, I appreciate you being on the call and at least learning enough to know that to find someone who can help you with it. So we're going to leave this slide for a second, and we're actually going to go to Chat GPT. So Luis, you're going to help me out here, okay? I would love you to pick someone. So in this group, we've got almost 70 people on the call. Is there anybody in our group under reactions? You can raise your hand. Okay. You can actually, if you go to reactions on the bottom of your screen, you can raise your hand. And we're going to go to the first person who does this. We're going to work with you. Now, John, your hand's already raised. So I think we're not going to count yours because it's been there for a while. And Michael, you don't know, Michael doesn't know what the question is yet, but he was testing it. So here we go. Who on this call has an event, wait till the end, an event your club or your district, something that you're planning that you need help with marketing, you need help with fundraising, and you need help with a membership strategy. You haven't already planned it, you need help. Go ahead and raise your hand if that's you. Anyone?
I see a visual one. That's Renee. And
I see Doug. Okay, so let's do Doug first, and then we'll go to Renee. Okay. So Doug, are you in a position to unmute?
I am unmuted.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Chat GPT. For those of you on the call, you guys, it's a free, they have a free version. So we're going to use the free version. You can use this on your phone as an app. You can use it on your web browser on your computer. So it's super easy. So nothing I'm going to do is any different than what you could do. The key to Chat GPT is what you're going to see is as Doug is talking and answering my questions, I'm just going to type in exactly what he's saying, because the whole point of using AI is that you're using it like you're talking to a friend. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. All right. So hold on a second, Doug, before you tell me, because I'm going to get us there. Just a sec, guys. Sorry. I have to lose the PowerPoint. There we go. And here we are. Okay. So when this comes up on everybody's screen, you guys can see it. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you so you can see what I'm typing. Hopefully that works. All right, Doug, tell us about this project or event, whatever it is. And what Rotary Club are you in? Sorry.
I'm in the Rotary Club of Escondido After 5.
Okay. Tell us about your project.
I want to try to do a salsa music festival outdoors in November.
Okay. In November, right?
Yes.
Outdoors. Do you have a venue for the event?
Thinking about the Kit Carson Amphitheater. It's Kit Carson, if that makes a difference.
I love Kit Carson, yes.
That's okay.
Okay. We went to the museum in New Mexico. It's fabulous. And you guys don't worry about typos, okay? Like that's not even a thing. All right. See, like, don't worry about that. Okay. But are open to other ideas, let's say, other venue ideas. All right. What else? Tell me more. What's it going to benefit?
It's a fundraiser for the club. And I want to try to get more participation from the public as opposed to other Rotarians.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever done this event before?
No.
Okay. How much are you hoping to raise?
$40,000.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Oh, how many Rotarians do you have in your club?
We've got 23.
Are they active? Like how many active should I put?
They show up every week.
That's good. No, 20, because you know, I have 23, but we have like 10. So we have 23 active members in our club who are willing to help, right?
I would hope so.
Please help me. I say please and thank you. You guys, it won't be as funny on Zoom, but I say please and thank you just in case it does become the Terminator. I just wanted to know I was nice and respectful to it. But I just saw Sam Altman. I don't know if you guys saw this 2 days ago. He said, stop saying please and thank you because it's using too much energy. I was like, no. So we're still going to say it. Please help us to create the perfect event. We would love to have a theme and a jingle.
We have a theme already because it's the Salsa Music Festival, right? So,
No,
okay.
yeah, but we're
All
gonna
right.
see what it does. A sponsorship package, a marketing strategy for the greater Escondido,
How about San Diego?
San Diego area. We would also love different fundraising ideas to do at the event.
Elizabeth, I noticed you didn't type in the word event after perfect. I don't know if that matters.
Let's not worry about it.
Okay.
That's the reason, and thank you, because let's see what it does. I appreciate it. And I'm trying to show you guys that it's okay to have, it's okay to be raw. It's okay to just be as is when you're doing it. So let's go ahead and see. Are you guys ready? Okay. Doug, have you done this before?
No.
All right, here we go.
What are we hitting? Search?
We're just hitting enter.
Oh, okay.
It's thinking. I don't know if you guys can read this. So it says, that sounds like a fantastico idea. A salsa music festival in Escondido is not only a fun community draw, but also a fresh way to engage new audiences and raise funds. Let's design this into an unforgettable, high impact event. So name Salsa Under the Stars, Escondido's hot night out. Saturday or Sunday in early to mid-November. Kit Carson Amphitheater, great outdoor vibe, or consider Grape Day Park, California Center for the Arts Courtyard, or Fila Vineyards. Do those ring a bell? Do you know what those are, Doug? Okay.
Yes.
So we didn't give it that, right? That came out. So the goal, raise 40,000 and engage the greater area. Target audience, we also didn't give it that. 25 to 60-year-olds, dance music lovers, foodies, and local families. Theme and jingle, feel the rhythm, fuel the cause, or salsa for a cause, or Escondido heats up. Jingle, step, sway, give today, salsa the Rotary way. Or help, heat is in your feet, help on the street, dance for good. Sponsorship package, presenting sponsors, Salsa Legend, 10,000. It tells you what would be in there. Mambo partner, 5,000. Cha-Cha champion, 2,500. Rhythm supporter, 1,000. In-kind sponsor. Now, here's the thing that I'll share as we're going through this. As you go through each section, you can go back in the text later and say, drill down and give me the exact, like create the package with this logo. And it will create a one-page or a booklet for you for sponsorship. You could do the same thing for a marketing strategy. So here's our marketing strategy. Here's what I love. Tells you when to do it. Social media blitz, 2 months out. Targeted Facebook, Instagram ads. Focused in North County, San Diego music dance fans, dance studios, breweries, Latin markets, post reels of salsa dancers, testimonials, sponsors, countdown to salsa post with giveaways, posters, flyers, those Latin restaurants, cafes, market libraries, collaborate with community radio. Here's your other collaborations, invite dance schools to perform or lead mini lessons. That's fun. And then your fundraising ideas. So here's what's kind of cool is we do our main sponsorship package, but then you can drill down and say, but I want to make more money. Think about a golf tournament. Yes, you have your sponsors, but sometimes about a third of your proceeds are actually like the mulligans, the 50-50 raffle at a golf tournament. You can do the same thing with these events. So a VIP area, $50, a dance-off contest, salsa sampling tent, silent auction, spin to win wheel, 50-50 raffle, merch table, photo booth. Here's your team structure. So with 23 active members, here's how you can break them out, that they each have roles and responsibilities. Then we could go back in here and drill down each one and say, what would be the action items for the sponsorship team 6 months prior to the event? What's the action team for marketing and media 6 months? Give us step by step, week by week of everything they need to be doing. Tell us how they can do that. Logistics and venue, what do you follow up with? Fundraising. So every single thing can be created in this. And then this is my favorite. Would you like a timeline playbook from now until November? A custom flyer or poster, the sponsorship package, a Word, a PDF version, or all the above? So the point being is, what this just did is it took an idea, a random idea, right? I had no idea what he was going to give. And it gave all of these resources in a period of 30 seconds. Now, I want you guys to be thinking about in your Rotary clubs, how many meetings or committee meetings or Zoom calls would that have been to have all of those categories? Can you guys give me like a yes, no? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. And so now what we're able to do is we're not necessarily going to say we're going to use all of that, but it gets our creative juices flowing. So now we can sit down in our meetings and say, okay, marketing team, here's some ideas. Take what you love, throw out what you hate. Sponsorship team, same thing, recreate it, come back to us. Now we're going to create it and we're going to come back to Chat GPT and we're going to fine tune it even more. So Doug, I'll send that over to you if you want to privately send me your email and chat. And if there's anything else you want to drill down, we can do that together.
Yeah, on the just a question on the drill down. So when you were showing the screen with all the categories, got down to the bottom and it had those other things. Do you click on that or do you have to go back to drill down and get
Oh,
marketing?
you can. So let me pull that back up on the screen. And there was a question of, am I using the pro or free version for this? That is free. Any of you could do that right now if you wanted to hop on your computers and start typing things in. What I would say though, right here is, let's say,
I see it says deep research down at the bottom. I don't know what that is.
that's for something different. That's if we were
Okay.
researching like salsa dancers from the 1700s.
Okay.
Yeah, like we really needed to. So let's go back and say, please create roles and responsibilities for our different teams with action items for now until November per team. Okay, so we're basically, I'm not even referring to like team structure. I'm just using that language. And then what it's going to do, absolutely, here's a full breakdown. So sponsorship, outreach lead, follow-up coordinator, in-kind donation coordinator, liaison, April to May, and then it's telling them what to accomplish each month.
Awesome.
Which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
When you think about that, because that's the problem about Rotary is we're volunteers. Maybe my skill set is none of that. Like I want to help, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I think I do, and I can kind of figure it out. This gives everybody exactly what needs to happen. And now what we also have, when I think a lot of clubs struggle with, is we've got some accountability. We have some action items, and did we get these done? And if we didn't get them done, that's okay. You might be too busy, but maybe I need to bring someone else in who can help instead of just letting the whole thing drop, right? So it's going through every single one. I don't know if you guys can, Doug, you can read those? Can the
Yep.
team? Okay.
Yep.
So you guys can see like confirm the venue, walk on it, secure rentals. And again, we could literally drill these down even more. What does that mean to finalize the auction list? Can you do that for me? It can create the bid sheets on Chat GPT. It can create the signage. It can do training for the volunteers step by step on the payment method. You know, it's just a matter of how much you want to use this for. And what I've really been trying to work with our Rotarians is like see here, do you want the team planner, editable tracker, project board? Sky's the limit. It's really us limiting ourselves to what we put in there. Another good example is I just did this session for a district in Midland, and they were having a conflict. We did a conflict issue with the club, and we put in, without names, what was happening, and it gave the club president mediation tools and tactics on how to work through the issue and it actually, I put nothing in about the 4-way test. The very first thing was utilize the 4-way test. Is it fair to all concerned? Let's break down the problem. And I'm like, it's just amazing, the resources. So Doug, we're gonna keep going on yours, but and we'll talk about the cautions, Michael. I promise we'll come back to that. But Luis, you said there was someone else who raised their hand.
Yes, that was Renee.
Renee,
Go ahead,
do you
Renee.
want to tell us what you have?
I think you covered everything that we needed to do in the Escondido project. So I have a pretty good idea what we need to do with this program.
Okay, awesome. Randy.
Yeah, so we're the district military committee, and we have a for Memorial Day we put out 20,000 flags at Miramar National Cemetery. So we want to get out a marketing strategy for the whole community, both to volunteer. We need volunteers to sign up. We need team leaders, and equally important, we want to just tell the community to drive by and see what Rotary is doing for the community.
Okay, so I'm going to have you tell me that again. So you are with the military.
Yeah, military district committee. Yeah.
District committee.
Yep.
For Rotary district. Go ahead and give me your district number.
5340.
5340. Each
San
year,
Diego.
we put out flags.
20,000.
20,000.
American flags at Miramar, MIR at Miramar National Cemetery.
Old cemetery wrong. Okay, no big deal. All right, we would like to raise awareness, right?
Community, yes, community awareness.
In our community. What else? Have volunteers?
We need volunteers for team leaders, and we need volunteers to place the flags. And this is for Memorial Day. Perfect.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
So, hi there. What a beautiful, beautiful and powerful tribute to your committee does each year. 20,000 flags is no small feat. I'd love to help you raise awareness, grow community engagement, and streamline volunteer coordination. Here's a toolkit to get you started for Memorial Day 25 and set you up for recurring success in years ahead. So, awareness and promotion. So, your social media content calendar. Now, something I didn't mention in our Escondido project is we could actually go in there now and say, give us the exact content and post and what social media sites we should put it on, and it will do that. So again, the key to this is you start big and then you drill down, drill down, drill down, drill down. Then we have a press release template that we can use to invite local news, radio, veterans groups, community newsletters, flyer and poster templates, email campaign series, 4-part sequence for past volunteers, Rotary clubs, schools, churches, scouts, and local businesses, volunteer and team recruitment, and outreach scripts, team leader packet, checklist, day of logistics, safety info, communication protocol, incentive ideas, timeline and milestones. So again, it's going to give us those things that need to get done as we're going through. Partnerships, optional add-on. And then, do you want the press release draft, volunteer sign-up form, team leader checklist? We also could say, are there additional websites we can post our volunteer opportunity? Hold on, I got to move my screen. Sorry, I can't see it anymore. Post our volunteer opportunity. And are there specific organizations we should partner with? I need specifics. And then now it's actually giving us volunteer. So we have volunteer match, Just Serve. These are all great websites actually that I'm familiar with. I think a lot of you are. Idealist, All for Good, Points of Light, Hands On San Diego, Nextdoor, Meetup. And now we have our groups that have mission alignment, reliable volunteer bases and community reach, USO San Diego, Team RWB, Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion Post, San Diego Military Family Collaborative, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to show that, and then pro tips for partnering. It'll help us create our marketing strategy for becoming a partner with us. Would you like help drafting that kit? And it will do the outreach emails, again, social media posts, and the flyer. And I clarified that. I went back in and asked for those sites because I didn't describe this in the beginning, but the quality of the answer you get back is as good as the prompt you put in. So when I'm vague, I got vague answers back. But when I was able to go back and say, give me specific places I can post this and show this for volunteer engagement, now all of a sudden I got 8 awesome websites that I can do that as an action item. The key, again, like I was saying earlier, is you're talking to people like you're talking to a friend. So the more detailed you get, the better you get. But I don't start detailed because I don't want to limit myself on what it's going to provide. Because I can't even tell you how many times there's been an idea that's come out of this that I'm like, oh, I can't believe I didn't think of that. And then I'm so grateful that I can like use that and go down that avenue, you know, when I'm doing it. So Randy, does that help? Yeah.
Amazing. Take the rest of the night off. You did a great job. Thank you.
Elizabeth, I do have some questions from chat, just quickly.
Yeah.
You can answer some of them. One question is, from the first example you did, this looks great in practice. What are some of the cautious or possible unintended consequences?
Yeah, so the unintended consequences are going to be when, so this was a good question we had at a PETS that I did this session on. And they said, what if I took a report from Club Runner and updated it and did a membership strategy? You can't input people's data without their permission. So I think unintended consequences are when in our mind, it seems like no big deal, but it is probably a big deal. So I'm just going to say as a reminder, use this as creative thinking, brainstorming, editing content. You know, like I was going back to the bylaws idea. The bylaws doesn't have anybody's information in it. That's an okay document to put in there. You know, there's things, checklists, sign-up sheets. We're going to be using it to write grants for the Rotary Foundation, helping with community assessments, but you can't put someone's personal information in there. I also think unintended consequences that we're starting to see are, you know, there's great tools in using it like a secretary in a club. You can use Otter AI. You can record meetings. You can get notes. Well, that's awesome, because how many times can we not find a secretary? But the other issue there is what if that's someone that wanted that job? So I think where we want to be careful is also make sure that we're not taking away volunteer options in our clubs, and we're utilizing it from a context of we don't have anybody to do it. and so we want to use it as a way to make our club more efficient, but we're not trying to take over. We also, I don't think we came up with great ideas here. I don't think we should show up and say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. I think we use it as the idea of saying, here are some creative ideas. Do we like any of these? Just like you would with collaboration in your committee meetings. So it's just about being respectful with the information in my mind, and then just making sure you're safe with the data.
Another quick question. If I want to add more details about the event before asking for graphic ideas, how do I improve?
Yeah. So what's really great about both Chat GPT and Copilot and Gemini is they have like Chat GPT has a partnership with Canva, which is a marketing site where we can do another class on that, Luis, at some point. Canva does flyers, they do the social media posts. It's amazing. Chat GPT is not, unless you do pay for the upgraded version, you're not going to get great graphics out of there. So what I use Chat GPT for, Copilot, is more data, like document creation. And then I'll use Canva or a different resource for the marketing. But what you want to do is you want to get all that good information so that when you go to Canva, you just put all that in and boom, your document's created, your flyer or whatever it is. So it's going to be utilizing different sources. And I will share with you that our brand, I don't know, Luis, at this group, if you guys have met our regional brand team, it's Dan Oloween and Randy Riscotti. They are now working with Canva, and on the Zone website, and Luis, we can put this in chat, zone2627.org. They have given us access to Canva that we all can use for free with Rotary brand guidelines. So you can go on there and actually use that for your marketing, along with Rotary.org and the Brand Center. And
then another quick question was, how do you save the information you get from ChatGPT inquiry?
Yeah, so this is a different question, but I'm going to answer both. So you do not have to have ChatGPT or any of them remember your prompts. So you and your settings get to choose if you want it to remember what you've put in, or you want it to be a clean slate every time. There's pros and cons to both, right? So it not saving your information, a lot of people feel much more comfortable with that with privacy. Some people who want to be able to build on their ideas, they like it saving the information. So first of all, that's going to depend on your setting. The second thing is you can ask at the end of your page to say, please convert all these notes to a Word document, a PDF document. You also can export it into your own notes file. So however you want to save it, you can do that at the end. You also can actually cut, copy, and paste it out of there. It's pretty easy.
Okay, and let me see here. Let's see. How do you import documents into ChatGPT?
Yeah, so on the bottom of that, I'll share the screen again. On the bottom where you did the prompt, right down here on the bottom, it has that plus sign. You can import a document right there. So you can import the bylaws, like I was mentioning. You could import an existing, so like Randy, for your project, this is something you guys have done every year. You might already have marketing. You can input that there. But for the salsa dancing, maybe we have a logo that we want to create. We could create it and import it there as well. And then that will go on all of the flyer packets that we want to, or the volunteer packets we want to share.
Okay, I guess let's go with Roxanne. You have a question? You can unmute.
Yeah, thanks. My question back to the salsa event is there a functionality that would allow you to at least create a preliminary budget?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, okay, because there's a lot of great ideas there and they all have a cost attached to them. So that would be obviously something good to know for planning purposes.
Yeah, so you could do that. You could also convert it to Excel or sheets. And you could, so you could even say, we need it to be costs net zero. So we want, we want to raise the $40,000, but we also want our event to not cost anything, create the budget. Or you can say we have 10,000 to go towards it, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes.
Another quick question was, this is a little, I think it says esoteric? So
Esoteric.
does the concern that AI might be running out of available data affect what we might be doing in the foreseeable future for our Rotary needs?
In my mind, absolutely not. And the reason I say that is, I mean, this is the entire internet universe that it's drawing off of. So, you know, I mean, not only does it have Rotary worldwide that we're pulling from, but also remember, like, for example, on Randy's event, that's pulling from volunteer ideas with regards to military, with regard, so it's coming from so many different great sources. I think it's a little different if we were to use it to, when you're seeing this a lot with college students, like write an article on, you know, the War of 1812, right? Like they know when it's AI written because it's going to be very similar paper across the board. But what we're doing here for Rotary, in my mind, is we're trying to create more time by simplifying. You know, so instead of having the meetings that go on and on and on to brainstorm, and then we wind up arguing over the meetings and people, it doesn't execute. This is a way to execute the idea really fast.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody else have any questions that they want to bring up? It's right now. You got Elizabeth.
Mark has a question. It says, how do you set up Chat GPT for note taking? So Chat GPT, you don't. That's not the note taker app. A great one right here. If you guys look at the bottom of your Zoom, you'll see AI Companion. So that is something that Zoom has now offered. If you're in a meeting and you want to set this up, you can actually start a meeting and you can hit AI Companion and it will take notes of your meeting. It'll transcribe it. Now, like, let's say that we're all here and we're a board and I said, I make a motion to blah, blah, blah. And then Roxanne says, I second that motion. Unless our names are on Zoom and we're on Zoom, if we're in a room, it doesn't know who said that. So you would need to say, I, Elizabeth Mahoney, make a motion. And, you know, I, Roxanne Hellstrom, I second that motion so that it captures that. The thing I want to be clear of, though, you guys, is I'm really starting to see, and I get it, but you're seeing like Otter AI and different ones, note takers on Zooms. Or I've even seen, well, this happened at PET. Someone was recording the session and they're like, I have it back here. You need to be respectful. You need to let someone know you're recording the session. You need to get approval from everybody. They're okay with the session being recorded, the board meeting being recorded. And again, there's a difference between being recorded to keep the recording or being recorded for transcription to send out for notes and minutes. And you need to clarify the difference between that as well. Any other questions? I find a great Rotary fundraiser project such as Pearl in Annapolis. Can I pull that data? Sorry, George, I can't read the whole thing.
Pull the data around the same project here in San Diego.
Yeah, so you could upload that data in there or just type in the notes and then say, I'm in the Rotary Club of San Diego. Here's what I'd like to do. Who are my point of contacts? How long is it going to take me to create it? You know, blah, blah, blah. And yes, it will help you create it. The other things we haven't talked about, though, we've talked about more projects and fundraisers, but also keep in mind, you guys, in a club or district or in your own professional life. I mean, I joke about this when I did it at Pets. You could say, you know, my wife is celebrating, you don't even have to say wife, a friend celebrating their 60th birthday, and they're really into golf, Golden Girls, and steak dinner. And I want the perfect gift. I don't want to spend any more than $100. Please give me 10 ideas and the websites that I can go get the perfect gift. And guess what? In 30 seconds, you've got the perfect gift. And it's something you would have never found yourself. In your professional setting, I've got this situation with a coworker and, you know, I need 5 ways to resolve this issue. Boom, 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 boom. I have a teenager at home and they're not cleaning their room. I've tried this type of parenting style. What other resources can I use? Boom, 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 boom. It's creating a contract for you with your teenager. I mean, it's the key to this is not limiting your mindset, what you use it for.
Elizabeth, one other thing I wanted to mention is that I actually tried Chat GPT in the last few months about helping, for example, small clubs, medium-sized clubs, or large clubs, and how to increase their membership and actually being specific on the number of members, a 3-year goal, and it was really detailed in the approach. Of course, it's more of a test right now, and I plan to provide it to the president-elects, but you can really get some great ideas of how to be able to engage your members, engage your community. So these are things that you could potentially use for, and that was on the free version. And these are ideas you can use for your own club. If you have ideas on how to engage your members, grow into the community, ideas. I mean, I was coming up with some great stuff. So
Yeah, I think the thing that I would like to leave everybody with is just the idea of just try it. Just try it, whatever one you want to use. If Google's Gemini, Chat GPT is partnered with Microsoft and OpenAI. There's, others out there, DeepSeek, but just try it. And I think you'll be pretty amazed by what you find. Alan?
Yeah, we did a invitation for members to participate in an event, and I sent it off to one of my colleagues, and they said, "Oh, how about this? Is this an improvement?" And it was a beautiful improvement, and they used Chat GPT to improve my email invitation, and it was great. So my question is related to that, is that say we got a trifold flyer telling people about our club, is that something that would be appropriate just to, shall we drop that in and see what it comes up with?
100%. So you would scan that right in there, both sides. And then what you would also want to do is, what audience are you trying to reach? So, maybe it's just general, all ages, all demographic, all areas, but maybe you're like, we want one for community leaders. We want one for young professionals. We want one, and it will change. You give it the guidance of the audience and the voice that you want it to have, and you will have a perfect match.
So the idea is just try using it.
Yes, very much so. And remember that everything can be edited. You're not committing to anything. You're just brainstorming and getting those creative juices going.
So I have a question. I'm sorry. Can I just ask a question? Louise, is that permissible?
yes, let's go ahead, Mike.
When you go to a committee meeting, let's say you're organizing it with your club, like all of us are probably doing. Do you take these ideas in with you ahead of time? Or do you sit in there and use this Chat GPT to come up with ideas during the meeting? Or do you do it all?
I think it's the context of the meeting. I mean, I think if it's a meeting that's meant to be brainstorming, then you could be the person to, and here's the thing, you could go to Chat GPT and say, I'm getting ready to go into a committee meeting. We're brainstorming about an upcoming event. How can I start that conversation? It's going to tell you exactly a script of how to do it. And then you could use Chat GPT in the meeting and everyone has buy-in. Or if it's, we're already at the third stage meeting and we need to start talking about the budget creation, you creating it and coming in and saying, I put a sample together for us to work with. Let's talk through it. It really depends on the context of the meeting in my mind. But all the above.
Okay, so does anyone have any last questions before we let Elizabeth go?
I'm actually happy to stay on. So what I would say is, Luis, we can close the meeting.
Okay.
And then if anybody does have any questions you want to stay on for, you're more than welcome.
Oh, perfect.
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead.
It's David from Rancho Bernardo, and I think you've done an excellent job of explaining this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
So what we're gonna do then, we'll go ahead and officially end the meeting, but if anyone wants to stay and ask more questions, take advantage of this moment. So, and I will keep it recording because I know there was a lot of people that wanted to hear, see the recording and not miss this meeting. So if you have to go, thank you again for coming. For those that would like to stay and ask questions, go ahead. Let's continue on.
I would like to go back on meetings and how you would record those.
Mhm.
You answered whether we're on a Zoom call, but most of our meetings aren't on Zoom calls. So how do you record and use AI in a regular meeting? Is there what do you use? Where do you go?
There are. So the Zoom, I should clarify that again. You can have your computer with you in person and start a Zoom meeting host only, screen off, and actually have the computer on the table, as long as as long as we're talking like a 10-person meeting, not a 40-person meeting, right? And it will take the transcription of the meeting, but you have to be very clear to say who's making the motion, who's saying the comment. The other way is to use again, many different sources. The one that I have found the best, and I have tried a lot, is Otter AI. Now they have a free version, but it only lasts, I think, for about 20 minutes. I do pay for the Pro because it's unlimited. And then with the Pro, you can have your phone and the app in the middle of the table, or again, you can use your computer. But regardless of which one you use, you have to say you're the person speaking. It doesn't know.
Okay. How much does that cost?
What I didn't say though, you guys, before, because I know some people do like to be secretary, it is a game changer. And how we have used it in our district is we will use the AI for the transcription. We still have a secretary who takes down who made the motion, who seconded the motion, kind of big things, and then goes back, and they're the ones who refine the notes or the transcription and bullet points. But what's incredible about using Otter AI, it gives you action items after the meeting. It tells you who's responsible, deadlines, next meeting. I mean, it is, I undersaid so far, it is fabulous. It is fabulous.
How much does that cost?
I don't have it in front of me. I feel like off the top of my head, it's like $129 a year. Not
That's
awful.
worth it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not awful. Not awful at all. No.
Yeah. It may have non-profit pricing too.
DG Diane, hello.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, DG Diane.
How are you?
I'm so happy to hear your voice. You are absolutely right. They very much may
I
have
love
that
Otter.
pricing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, comment. Could you give us like a list of all these programs that you've been talking about with a little description and possibly the price and so forth? Because I was trying to write these down, but I wanted to listen to you.
I appreciate that. What I can do, so Rotary, because I'm a volunteer, right? Rotary nor we don't endorse anything, and there's so many out there. So what I will do is I will put a general list together, but please understand, not endorsing anything like find your own. But what I do have, and Luis, I'm sorry I didn't mention this before everyone hung up, but I do have a list of prompts that I have put together for club presidents, AGs, working on fundraising. So you guys don't have to come up with your own prompts. You could use those as starters and then build off of it.
If you send me that, I'll send it out to everyone.
Yeah, I do have that. I have created that.
Okay. Thank you. Great job. When do we see you again?
May 10th for the AGs.
I am coming for the AGs, yes. Anything else?
I have a question about a process. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, there we go. So I have an Interact club, and so my operation process is to provide lists and then send it out to the committees, the members ahead of time, so they can begin to thinking about it. So if I have a list from chat, how do I get that? What would you suggest as the process to send that to my committee members?
So let me just ask a deeper question. So is it a list of action items from the previous meeting? Or what is the list?
For a next project.
Okay. So I think what you and I can do is we can test that offline. Like I'll show you. We can go in because I need to understand the context of like, are you creating the list? Is the list already created? And we're just.
No, I'm creating it. So we're going to make bags.
Okay. So
bags.
Let's do one real quick, Bill. You and I'll do this together real quick. So I can I can help you with this. Let's do this. Hold on. Okay. So I am, and it's funny because it knows what these things are. I don't even have to tell it what Interact is. So I am the Interact chair. Are you for the district or a club?
Club.
For my club. And we are going to make bags.
For veterans, to give the veterans for Memorial Day.
Okay.
Okay. To show our appreciation for their service. So let's say we have a budget of $10 per bag.
And are we going to the local military base to do this?
No, we will be going to a senior living facility.
Nice. That clarifies it. Good.
Yes. And we will have 25 bags.
Okay. Now what's our question? What to put in the bags?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Please give me, I'm just going to make this up. I'm going to say, please give me 10 bag ideas of different items that would be around $10 per bag that would be meaningful for our veterans.
We do make cards, personal cards.
Yeah, that's why I added that, because that way it'll, okay. Here are 10 creative bag ideas. So a comfort bag, handmade thank you card, soft fleece throw blanket, Walmart, Dollar Tree, peppermint candies or Werther's, pocket tissue pack, small American flag, veteran theme sticker, letters of gratitude, a puzzle book, tea bags, granola, veteran pin, coffee and kindness bag. And they don't have to be themed either. Like I did that. We could literally just say, don't worry about the theme, just make a giant list. Do you know what I mean? And then it could make the giant list and you could send that to the interactors. Can you see it, Bill?
Yes. So, okay, so now I have lists. How do I send that to my interactors?
Yeah, so I'm going to put, and because we don't want, let's say we don't want the theme. Say like, we don't want, we don't need the themes. We just need a giant list of ideas for our interactors. Please create the list and summarize it by topic, and then convert to Word. Okay, so what it's going to do now is it's just going to create the list. Then what it's going to do is at the very end, we can convert it to Word. Yes. Or we also could have done PDF. You can attach this to the email, but you can also cut, copy, and paste it to, if I do this, maybe you'll be able to see it. Hold on. Did the Word document come up?
Yes. Okay. Well, not yet, but it says click here to download the veteran appreciation.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me stop sharing so you can see it. Hold on. And then let me reshare the Word document so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So it created a Word document. Snacks and treats, comfort ideas, stationery and creative, entertainment, patriotic, self-care, wellness. And so what I meant was you can actually save this as a PDF and send it, or you can cut, copy, paste, and just put it in the body of the email.
Where do I save that on the screen?
Well, I will have to send it to you because it's on my computer. But if you were doing it, the Word document, you just save as a document, like file save as.
Okay.
Yes. Right. But if you were cut, copying, pasting, you just highlight it and then you put it in your email to the kiddos.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay.
What a captive audience.
Yeah. Well, it was a
Well,
good intro call. We definitely can
thank
do
you.
more and get more detailed as you guys learn more, but please go try it. That's the key. And I hope you enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, and I really appreciate you taking this time to do this. And thanks everyone for coming, and maybe we'll do another one later this fall or something, just kind of like step 2. If you've tried it, here's a step 2 level, but thank you again, and have a good rest of the day. Thanks,
You too.
everyone.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Take care.